Our next speaker is a marketing and public relations executive, a small business entrepreneur. Please welcome back to Justice Southbury, Michele Zommer.
Okay, this is
That's sort of
it's just a bar. Yeah. Oh, okay. Bar. You don't want to. Yeah. Okay. Hi. Okay. To the Southbury Justice family, thank you. Thank you for inviting me to speak here today. It's been many weeks that you have, and today I want to say I believe you have changed the color of this corner with your decency. Sown over 200 Sundays, and you have changed Southbury's heart. But we have unfinished business, and I'll explain what I mean by that. I recently claimed the word boss for all the people who live and work in Southbury because words have power. And I rebranded a social media group called, it used to be called Southbury Buzz. I created it about 8 years ago, and today it has around 5,000 members. I did this as part of a plan to reimagine social media. I wanted to begin using the tool in beneficial new ways. I declared Bossbury as a place for people to bring their A game to the public domain. What do you think happened next? Well, first, a bunch of women got mad and they quit. They liked Buzz. It was familiar, it was comfortable, and I guess they just didn't buy into the strategic value of what an A game was supposed to represent. The next thing that happened was a bunch of men started to get more active on the platform. And why do you think that was? Perhaps because now the word boss was in the name. The rebrand wasn't on whim. It was based on social media research conducted by the smart people at UConn, who I guess we'll hear from tonight. They concluded that, like all human endeavors, social media should be purpose-driven. Groups should have guardrails if they're going to be rewarding for the members who belong. I'll get back to the Bossbury mission in a few minutes, but first, I want to share that around the same time that I made this rebrand, I woke up to my place in the patriarchy. And this is very recent. I realized that I had been a willing participant for 40 years, that I was blind, I was passive. Marianne Williamson, maybe you know her, she's run for president a few times. She talks about a wasted decade, and I'm scratching my head and saying, geez, how did I lose 40 years? Marianne took on the political patriarchy. She did it bravely in her own voice. She stood there on the stage with all those other male candidates who have been there forever. Because she followed her own advice, Marianne says, you playing small doesn't serve the world. There's nothing enlightening about shrinking so others won't feel insecure around you. As you let your own light shine, you give others permission to do the same. I first heard that advice from a remarkable woman that we here in Southbury had invited to speak at an event we called Women and Power. Are we there yet? The event was honoring the late Governor Ella Grasso on the 100th anniversary of her birth. It was the first time in my life that someone had actually suggested to me that I seemed afraid to shine my light. That in doing so, I would actually help other people. So it wasn't a sudden aha moment that I realized this patriarchy I was living in. My belief system was shaped over a lifetime. When I was a little girl, my brothers played outdoors while I ironed my father's handkerchiefs. And as I became a woman, I accepted less pay and less power than men in similar jobs. I was and and as they did, I started to step up to contribute my voice and my ideas and my talents. And then I found I was being stopped. And it wasn't just once or twice. There was a whole series of events over 5 years when a number of people took steps to marginalize me and silence me. I was truth shamed by allies. Antagonists told lies about me in print. Marianne's awakening led her into politics much like mine did. And interestingly, we both started out by encouraging other women to run for office. Many of you from Southbury will remember how this took shape in 2019. We ran a campaign to modernize the official titles of Southbury's elected officials. We wanted to remove the gender reference from the leadership words. Over the course of about 6 months, there were about a dozen of us who rallied to petition the Board of Selectmen to change the town charter. We spoke at meetings, we wrote op-eds, we had the television cameras in town hall, we made front page news, and we felt full of confidence leading up to election day because we persuaded those in authority to at least put it up to citizens to vote whether we should change our titles. On November 5th, 2019, the initiative appeared on the ballot. Question number 4, and it went like this. Shall the proposed revision throughout the charter, which changes the titles of First Select Man, Board of Selectmen, to First Select Person, Select Board, and Select Person, be approved? The patriarchy is strong. They wrote this unfortunate lawyer speak. Sorry to the lawyers present. And it was nearly unintelligible to the average voter. They put it on the back of the ballot. And they had women who uphold the patriarchy standing on Saturdays at the town dump with signs, vote no on question number 4. I was blindsided, of course, first by the resistance. I was shocked at the sneaky tactics, and I wondered how my neighbors could seek to snuff out the light of progress. Certainly, we could use more women in town hall, in the state house, in the federal government. It was a logical step to simply retire these old titles that no longer applied. Well, the initiative failed at ballot. 2,250 people voted in favor of changing the titles, but 203 more voters said no. We have no idea why the people voted against it. Maybe they just didn't understand it. And later on, many women felt embarrassed and betrayed. Today, I look at this bit of women's history as unfinished business. Western civilization's first feminist, her name is Mary Wollstonecraft, a British woman. She said, "I do not wish women to have power over men, but over themselves." She was branded a radical in Europe, but today we see her as a gifted intellectual of that era. She said those words around 1790. And by coincidence, that was around the same year when citizens living in these woods wrote the first charter establishing Southbury as a town. Through nearly 240 years, there have been 94 people who have ruled over these 35 square miles of bliss. Each one of them was called First Select Man. and you will not be surprised to learn that only one of them was a woman. Her name was Carol Herskowitz, and she had the job from 1987 to 1994 during the IBM-inspired building boom in the town. The unapologetic pop star Rihanna made this observation. There's something so special about a woman who dominates in a man's world. It takes a certain grace, strength, intelligence, fearlessness, and the nerve to never take no for an answer. With all those requirements, it's no wonder that we accept the role of eternal helper instead of boss. Women do not possess a worldwide network of butt-slapping bros who have our backs no matter what. Generations of women keep trying to unmoor the patriarchal power structure held in place by men and some women. But they still hold the off switch. In this bit of unfinished business, 5 years have since passed. The first select man of Southbury in 2024 is compelled to revisit the town charter. He must by law reconvene a charter revision commission to determine what changes are needed. I propose to rebuild the advocacy group and this time build it stronger. To do it in memory of Carol Herskowitz, who lived just 67 years and died one of the worst deaths a human can endure from Lou Gehrig's ALS disease. If you'd like to help this time, the wisdom of failure will bolster our success. I don't know Carol's position on the patriarchy, but no matter, I'm proposing to call it the Carol Crew. She accomplished something only one woman did in 237 years, and that deserves our recognition. If you'd like to consider joining in this purpose, I have a sign-up sheet, and I'd be happy if you would write your name and contact information. If you don't want to help in that endeavor, there are other small things you can be part of the change, be a mentor, and carry the torch forward. I suggest being purposeful about quoting women in your daily life and your prayers, much as Maya suggested. I also am considering organizing a trip, believe it or not, to watch the WNBA team at Mohegan Sun Arena. There's a team of women professionals who play there, and they are underpaid. And the reason they are underpaid is because they have not enough fans. And the sports machine is largely designed to support male sports. So let's bring them some fans from Southbury. As for Bossbury, look for this group to continue its radical mission to encourage people to shine their light, to be seen and heard for the talents and gifts they bring to the world. I see the Bossbury mission as one of mentorship, and the platform as a place that is more than just a bulletin board for smiles and platitudes and complaints. I'd like to build a place where we can get to know each other in a more meaningful way and capitalize on the clout we can each bring to get things done for each other in our town. Bossbury is currently 67% women, and there's no doubt we can use it to build a new network of people who will support women. Recommend us. Go to the mat for us, even when we don't deserve it. From Mary Wollencroft to Marianne Williamson, women aren't there yet, but I'm here under this brilliant sun, very grateful for your time. I'm part suffragette, I'm part Barbie, and I just want to say, let's take care of our unfinished business. Thank you, everyone.